Coming up on the CHGO Cubs podcast, will a Juan Soto signing spark a big Cubs trade? And the golden at-bat rule, is it cool, crazy, or the dumbest thing you've ever heard? Hey, that's what they say about us, too. CHGO Cubs coming up next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast. It is Tuesday, December 3rd. We're a week away from the winter meetings. So far, the Cubs' biggest move is one Matthew Boyd, Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Delmendo, and Law on the Draw mic'd up.
Hello.
Running the ones and twos. Shane Newbank says, Soto to the Cubs. That is not the signing we're expecting. I did see now most people are putting the Mets as the favorite. Not even the Yankees. A lot of people saying the Mets are the favorite.
Was it yesterday that they said the Blue Jays might put in the biggest offer for him? I don't remember where I saw that.
Well, then he'll go, won't he? Isn't he expected to go where the money's the most?
Potentially, yeah.
I thought that's what he said.
Moving countries also maybe a factor, but
what?
The Red Sox have to prove it to me, but it makes a lot of sense for him to go to the Red Sox, too.
Just real quick, Shane Newbanks was saying sort of the Cubs. He says Giovanni.
Oh, that's a follow-up, yeah. That's
Fair.
A big difference. He was on the Cubs for sure. And he's also one of the players why I always say, hey, let's not always just bank on one season. Remember, Rookie of the Year, Giovanni Soto wasn't the same player the rest of his career. It happens. It happens. So just because you saw something last season, don't expect it to automatically happen this season. Don't want to forget about the big deal we got going on, right? We have a diehard flash sale going that is the most aggressive plan we've ever had for our diehard program. I think we had like 150 people sign up just yesterday. Right now, we're calling it the 36 for 36. It's a $36 deal for a 1-year subscription, and we're running the deal for 36 hours.
which means we have
we're deep into it.
We're deep into it. So you just got a couple hours left.
Or less than 9 hours. Yeah.
Less than 9 hours left in the 36 for 36. That's a $36 yearly membership to be a CHGO diehard. And don't get left out. It comes with everything. What did you write? You wrote about the rotation yesterday? Just for the diehards?
Yes, just for the diehards. Little Matthew Boyd, how he fits into the rotation. It's interesting to kind of dig into what's been going on with him in the last few years. I was looking at that yesterday, and I know I mentioned it on the show, but then when I saw it on paper, MLB Network put it out, I'm like, okay, Steele, Imanaga, Tyone, Boyd, Assad. I don't know where that stacks up in Major League Baseball. It's solid-ish, right? If guys pitch to what they did last year, it's
like I said yesterday. Justin Steele's the only guy I have some real confidence.
I also agree with that,
and that doesn't mean I'm down on Shota. But if we're gonna sit here and blame the offense or blame Wrigley's weather on the offense being bad, then how can I sit here and not have a little concern about Shota with the amount of home runs he gave up whenever the conditions were great for him?
Well, the conditions were great for fly ball pitchers, which is something that Shota was. He's not a ground ball guy.
He still gave up a lot of homers.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
And they were still great for a guy who gives up a lot of fly balls. I don't know how many, if it would have been more neutral or more in the middle, how many more home runs he would have given up. But he did give up a lot of fly balls.
All I'm saying is if the weather is more neutral next season, could he give up more homers?
Yeah.
Does that earned run average go up one whole run?
We're
I
saying
don't know.
the same thing. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
So,
because there were a lot of fly balls that died at the warning track or looked like off the bat, felt a little harder and didn't go as far. And you're like,
yeah,
without the wind blowing in.
Again, that has nothing to do with how I feel about the guy in the moment right now. I feel really confident with him giving you 30 starts next year. If I think you know what you're going to get out of him. I think if there's anything for me to feel good about Shota going next year is like, I just think you know what you're going to get. And we've sat here and talked a lot about like hoping that this guy does this and hoping that this guy does that. With Shota, I think you can feel pretty confident that you're going to get 30 starts out of him or anywhere from 25 to 30 starts, and he'll keep you in games. I feel confident about that. I'm just a little concerned about the home runs that he might give up.
Corey in the live YouTube chat says, finally got around to joining the diehards this morning. Let's go. Ring it up. Yeah. There's another one.
We got another
other diehard.
You're helping out. Rogue Wave.
Does the program still come in that cool box that's on our set? Do you still get the cool?
I think there's a box involved.
Yeah. How else are you going to get your diehard card?
Yeah, right? Like you unveil it, and then the sunlight comes out and shoots to the ceiling.
I like what
Rogue the Undertaker's urn.
I like what Rogue Wig said. He says, join. Cody needs a raise. I'd say we all need a raise here, personally. So, yes, you should join so all three of us get a raise. But if you want to just specifically for me, that's fine, too.
You remember
how... I'll give you my Venmo if you want to just give me money.
Yeah, right? You know how
link in bio. Link in bio has my Venmo and Cash App. My Cash App and Venmo is in the link in my bio on Twitter, guys.
Story in comments.
Nice.
It's just there just to see if anyone would actually ever.
Could you imagine if someone did that? I would be amazed.
It's never happened, but if you want to be the first one to do that, I mean, I'll shout you out on the show.
Here comes sales guy Jim. Look at all the public rec we're wearing today. Oh my!
Public recs right here.
Go-to long sleeve shirt,
brother. Super
soft. Like it's like butter.
Looks great.
Looks great. Feels great. I know I look great.
You do look great.
Sent a photo to my significant other wearing this shirt. She was like, "Damn, how you doing?" Yeah.
That's
right. She didn't really do that, but
that's the public rec magic.
She said that, and that was after Cody has now had Japanese food for like 19 days straight.
22 days.
22 days.
Let's go.
Today's day 23.
Have you noticed a fluctuation in mood or weight or any of those things? Like just eating Japanese food, and
Well, it's not the only thing I'm eating, but
well,
I thought it was the only thing.
I thought you were just strictly going on a Japanese diet.
That's disappointing.
I'm just eating it. I'm eating it at some point in my day every single day.
Well, that's not going to manifest Roki. I don't think that's enough.
What are you guys doing to manifest Roki?
Watching you eat it.
Yeah, I'm objective.
Okay.
I'll let you have your fun.
Soft.
Hey, do you remember when, like, you were talking about Imanaga? Remember when, like, Baez was clearly the swag guy on the team, the guy with the most swag?
Yeah.
Is Shota that guy now, or is it PCA?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Until PCA shaves the mustache, Shota has the most swag.
I'm with you on that. That mustache is so bad.
I'm not
a
fan
PCA,
of the stash,
but that
brother.
stash is terrible.
If it was up to me, PCA, his swag level would immediately skyrocket to number one on the team if A, he changed his number, and B, if he got rid of the stash.
The number is weird to look at.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of 52 for a player like him, and listen, I'm not one to sit here and slander a guy and their appearance, but I feel like the swag level would at least go up if he got rid of the stash. That's just me.
I don't know, but they are clearly.
Maybe if he grows a mullet, I'll feel different. Grow a mullet, and if you want to keep the stash, grow a mullet. Get the flow going.
I'm sorry, but no mullet is swaggy. I'm sorry, that is not swag.
I think mullets are good for baseball players.
Anybody had a cool mullet? Baseball player. What about Chris Bryant had a mullet?
Joe Dirt had a mullet.
Chris Bryant had a mullet.
Bryce Harper.
Oh, we're just talking about baseball players?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For baseball players, mullets are cool.
Joe Dirt had a heck of a mullet.
Never cool.
Hockey players love the mullet.
Anyway, I think both have an argument. I mean, like, I don't think Shota's. I don't want to say like Shota's not cool or as cool as PCA is. I think naturally, but not. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. They just have like their own different vibes. But like both are incredibly fun to watch play baseball in their own ways, right? Like
Shota off the field though has maybe more swag than PCA.
His personalities.
Would we say it's swag, or is it just like he's pandering to all of us?
What about Riz?
I don't know.
I mean, I have the most Riz.
Yeah,
obviously.
sure. Yeah.
I just think he's really good at pandering to all of us.
No, yeah, and I don't want to sound like I'm saying Shota's not cool. Shota's awesome. Like his personality is great. I don't know if I would describe him and PCA in the same way. But they like I said, they both are very fun to watch play baseball. And that like obviously there's a reason people gravitate to both those guys, and why you would name both those two as like the top two, I guess, or why you picked those two names to begin with.
Well, those were the first two that popped in.
There's now a YouTube poll asking who's the swaggiest.
That's what I'm saying.
Cub.
Like, there's a reason for that.
Who else are you putting on the list?
I just put those two in there. Just those two.
I mean, after we had that long show with Sierra Santos, I caught just a piece of that MLB show. Shota was singing again. What did he say? Was it Go Cubs Go?
Go Cubs Go, yeah. Again,
see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
got a little pizzazz to him.
Sure.
For an old person's term. He got a little pizzazz to him. Also known as Riz today.
But he also is really good at just pandering to us.
Rizzazz?
Rizzazz.
Ooh.
He's got a little rizzazz.
I think he embraces Chicago. Like,
sure.
Is embracing Chicago and having swag the same? I don't necessarily think so.
It's a good point.
You know?
But I mean, him with like the Jordans and the Walter Payton jersey, and
I go to war for the guy. All right, you want to? Would I put him on my list of guys I take a couple bullets for? Yeah.
Was this our whole? Was this our whole show?
No, we haven't even started the show.
So.
I want to start this. We'll start it and we'll finish it also next segment. So
also, Barb said Rod Beck had a mullet.
Oh, Rod Beck had a glorious mullet.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Well, was it cool or
was Jeff
swaggy?
Samardzija a mullet, or was Jeff Samardzija just long hair?
Long hair.
Kind of in between. Probably closer to long hair though. Yeah.
Should have went to the NFL. He was an okay pitcher.
Yeah, I will Google baseball.
Would have been a better football player though.
His body feels a lot better today.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, didn't mean to stop you.
Barb says PCA needs to wear sunscreen. Well, he's pale, but so am I. A lot of people, we all need to wear sunscreen, Barb.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about, John Morosi says, this was a prediction from John Morosi yesterday on MLB Network. When I say John Morosi, everybody thinks right away, friend of the show. Big name, friend of the show.
Remember when he said I was smart?
He said, that's a smart question. Or did he say you were smart?
No, he said it was a smart question that I asked him last year at winter meetings.
Different meetings, yeah.
Honestly, it should be put on my resume that he said that.
John Morosi said, smart question. He says, roughly 10 days, he believes that Juan Soto will make his decision. I looked at that and said, well, he's basically saying by the end of the winter meeting, Soto will have decided and signed by somebody. So I ask, will that signing, we know it's not going to be the Cubs, upsetting as that is, will that almost instantly spark the big Cubs trade we're all expecting, or a big Cubs trade? So I don't know if that's the prospects trade, where the Cubs say, all right, now the domino pieces are moving. Teams that wanted Soto now have to fill that void with somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Or will it spark the Cody Bellinger movement that maybe the Cubs certainly sound like they're hoping for?
I mean, it's possible, because when you look at like just available players right now, obviously Juan Soto's the number one bet on the market. He's right fielder. He's lefty. Bellinger's not Juan Soto. Profile-wise, he's a little closer to Juan Soto than pretty much anyone else.
Yeah.
He plays a good right field, plays a good outfield, like any of the three outfield positions. You also get the value of a first base defender over there. And it's definitely possible, because there are going to be teams that lose out on Juan Soto, right? Juan Soto can only go to one team. That's like 5 or 6 teams aren't going to get him, however many are left. Those teams could be looking to find a way to fill a spot that they would have used for Juan Soto. And again, like, Cody Bellinger is not that. Cody Bellinger is not just a complete replacement for Juan Soto, but it is a good way to get a good left-handed bat, solid defender in the outfield, especially in right field if that's where they were planning on playing him, and using him to kind of fill it in that way. I don't know if it would be Juan Soto signing and the next day all of a sudden Cody Bellinger's traded, right? Like maybe a little more time for that, even if he even ends up getting traded. But it's certainly a possibility, because there will be teams that lose out on Juan Soto and will be looking to fill that void in a way that Cody Bellinger could potentially help fill.
More on Juan Soto and what that signing will mean for the Cubs and other teams around Major League Baseball in just a second. But first, some of our great sponsors get a little shout out.
Luke, I have news for you. We're sponsored by the Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and White Sox games all season long.
Very nice. With Empire Today, you get to shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats, but Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, and speed, so competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire just won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anybody that's doing that is putting flooring in your home that they probably wouldn't put in their home. Empire keeps shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Empire's philosophy is to help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with 1,000 different choices and substitutes. What they leave out is just as important as what they put in, and they have that virtual floor designer as well. Just snap a picture. It's easy to see what your new floors will look like in any room. You can go to the big box store, but that's dangerous. You never know who you're going to be talking to. It could be the person that was in plumbing yesterday. Could have been the guy that was in lumber the day before that. Flooring is all they do at Empire. They live and breathe it, so you can be confident you're getting honest upfront advice. And they service their own warranties as well. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off. What a discount when you use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
Before we continue, I would just like to give a shout out to Rogue Wave, who sent me $9 on Venmo.
Whoa, that is amazing.
What?
Hold on.
Okay, Rogue Wave.
First, I don't have Venmo, but I'm setting it up, Rogue Wave.
Rogue Wave, I'll let you send me money for Luke. It's at Law on the Draw.
How about you? How about Rogue Wave just sends
you get
Cody,
a 10% take of that.
Rogue Wave just sends Cody my money, and then Cody will send it to me.
Rogue Wave just sent you cash?
Yeah. I got a text saying that he sent me $9.
That's amazing.
$9.
This is what happened. This is the pros of having a link tree in your bio, brother.
Is anybody in the live YouTube chat interested in doing a GoFundMe for me?
To send you to Japan?
Anywhere. Instead of Japan, I would like a GoFundMe, send Stucky to Hawaii. That's what I'm thinking, right? Maui needs the tourism after that big fire.
And
forget the Japan trip. You guys go. I'll be in Hawaii.
Rogue Wave's been listening to us for the last couple of years, so he likes our vibe.
He's an OG.
He did say in the message that he sent on Venmo, he said, he said, pick the under. I have no idea what that means. LOL. Enjoy and love your vibe.
He did say $3 each.
You owe us now because it's actually $9 to you, but it was $3 to be split.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll pay for half your team.
No. He's saying he. Well,
no, yes, he gave us each $3, not Cody $9.
Oh, he sent it to me.
He sent it to you to disperse.
You want me to? What do you want? What do you guys want with your $3?
A half a Starbucks tomorrow.
Half a Starbucks?
No, you want this month's diehard.
This month's diehard membership. That's perfect.
Yes,
$3 a month, 36 for 36. That's right.
That's fair enough.
Yep.
There we go.
Shane says he's going to Japan. You can go in my suitcase. He must have one of those big, the hard outside ones. You know what I'm talking about? The suitcases that have the hard shell.
Like one over there. Yeah.
That's how they all used to be. Then, things changed. We need to make a GoFundMe for the Cubs. I actually thought that would be a fun bit. Is just if somehow you could do a GoFundMe, build it up enough. Like, what if we started a GoFundMe? We're sitting here talking about Juan Soto and how that will spark trade. What if we started a CHGO Cubs GoFundMe? Ryan would have to be left out of this for sure. And then if it was not enough money to actually present a check to the Cubs, like stand outside Wrigley Field and be like, would you guys like to accept our $4,000 check to go get another player? Then we could just throw a party for all the diehards.
I'd like it to actually reach the goal and then just not give it to them and give it to
and just split it up amongst.
Give it to a charity.
Yeah. Or Barb.
No.
I would give it to Barb.
Barb.
I wouldn't give it to Barb.
Yeah, although she sounds like a charity case. But
Barb. That was unfair.
It's a shot.
Barb says Stucky can go to Mexico with Ryan and Cody. I'm up for Mexico.
Do you need
I
surgery,
need surgery or tooth pulled? I've never even had a cavity. I don't need teeth pulled.
That's a lie.
Never had a cavity.
I've never had a cavity either.
Yeah, see it. Good for us.
Anyway, do you?
And it's largely because I don't drink soda.
Anyways.
Or pop, I should say.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Never have.
Soda pop.
The only time I ever have a
soda pop.
soda is like once in a great while, a ginger ale.
Once in a blue moon.
A ginger ale, or if it's a Coke or a Pepsi, it has Captain Morgan with it.
Now we're talking.
But
Anyway.
those are earlier days. Anyways,
Cubs.
Anyways, back to the Cubs. Morosi says Soto signing within 10 days, and I said, will that spark a Bellinger deal?
Mm.
You want to give a prediction? Anybody want to say where you think Bellinger is going to land and where Soto is going to land? Where's Soto going to sign, and where's Cody Bellinger going to play his baseball this year?
I don't know. I would say that's not necessarily a prediction, but if Juan Soto doesn't go back to the Yankees, Bellinger could be a pretty good trade fit there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would take to, obviously for the Yankees to trade for him, but like if Soto's not with the Yankees, they kind of need to find a way to fill that in because they traded a lot of capital for Juan Soto. Could make sense, especially with first base. First base is open in New York too, right? Yeah. So it could make sense as a destination or a location where the Cubs could be looking to trade Bellinger if that were the case.
And Corey asks, is it confirmed the Cubs are going to move him no matter what, Bellinger? No. It's just speculation. It's supposed to be the worst kept secret out there that the Cubs are trying to move the contract if they can. Braves was the buzz yesterday. What's your prediction, Cody?
Based off how I feel like I know this front office works, I'm leaning to believe that Cody Bellinger is going to be on this roster. Because I don't
Bellinger with the Cubs.
Unless this is a full-on salary dump, which I've already gone on a rant about that. Because I just don't think they're going to get the value that they want. When it's the worst kept secret at the GM meetings. Again, this is all based off what I know, which is what the reports have told us. Now, if they move him and they feel like they get good value back for him, I would be surprised because he's coming off what I think we would consider a down year, and he's making $27.5 million. They are not going to get the value they want for this guy unless they throw in a prospect or if they throw in another major league player. And so, it certainly could happen, and the Cubs are trying to do it, but I just don't see it happening unless this is just bluntly a salary dump of sorts.
Well, what was that philosophy you had yesterday, or somebody's theory?
I don't remember.
Was it Sahadev?
It might have been Sahadev on the Northside Territory podcast that made the. I don't remember for sure, and I don't want to say it for sure that it was him making this point.
Give him credit, Sahadev.
But I do remember.
Actually, Mooney comes on with Mooney.
But there was a point made that if trading Bellinger, even if it is in just moving the contract and you're not getting proper value for him in the trade, it may not be all that different than if he had just opted out of the contract. If he had just opted out of the contract,
it's a free prospect.
It's in a sense, it's like if you got a prospect, like a AA prospect, the Yankees number 15 prospect or whatever for him, if that's obviously happened, instead of Bellinger opts out and then you just have all this salary, or you get all this flexibility in terms of your roster, your lineup, and your financial flexibility. You lose Bellinger, of course, in a trade, but you also got another prospect with it. So in a way, it's not that far off from if Bellinger had just opted out and was a free agent. So
I would like to get more.
I understand that. I understand that, yes, but you don't necessarily need to. And I'm not saying this is the correct way to look at it. I'm just saying this is a way that kind of piqued my interest of I didn't really think of it that way, where you don't need to get the proper value, whatever you would consider proper value for him, because it wouldn't be that much different than just if he had opted out, because you would have technically lost him for nothing. What you need to do is the proper value needs to be, if you don't get it in that trade, the proper value has to come from what you do after Bellinger.
Sure.
It
right.
Shouldn't
how you use his contract, how you split up that money.
Exactly. It shouldn't.
Do you just hold it, or do you go spend it on two players.
It shouldn't just be you're getting rid of the rest of Bellinger's contract. You got a prospect, if you got a prospect back in it, whatever, and then that's it. It shouldn't. You said salary dump. It should not just be a salary dump. It should be we're moving this contract. If the Cubs decide to trade him, we're moving this contract to give us more flexibility in how we want to do things, financial flexibility on the roster, and we plan to reuse those resources somewhere else. That has to be how they do it. You don't, in this mindset, and I don't disagree with it, you don't necessarily need to get the proper value back in the Bellinger trade itself, because a lot of the value you're getting in the Bellinger trade is the flexibility that having him off the books gives you.
Fair.
But what you do afterwards matters. If you don't do anything afterwards, or you don't, however you decide to dole out those resources, if you're not looking back and saying like, we used the resources we saved on Bellinger's contract properly, then it was a bad move. Then it was a move just out of shedding some salary and getting some flexibility for whatever you wanted to do, even if you didn't do it. And that to me is the wrong way to go about it. It shouldn't. We've talked about it. It shouldn't just be a salary dump to get rid of Bellinger's salary to get him off the books. It should be we're moving this player. We're opening up financial flexibility, roster flexibility, and the plan is to use those resources that we've saved with that in a way to improve the team in whatever other way we see fit. That's what the Cubs' mindset should be if they're trading Cody Bellinger.
But we're talking about what? Over 2 years, potentially $60 million? Is that right? Right? We're talking.
Yeah, something like that.
If you were to keep opting in, $60 million, okay?
Something like that, yeah.
I ask you this. What would be more effective for the Cubs? Having Cody Bellinger for 2 years and $60 million,
or at least one more year,
or at least one more year for 30, or I just don't see him ever opting.
Well, it depends on what he does in 25.
That's true. If he has some spectacular year, then it would be worth the $30 million. Would you rather have Cody Bellinger for $60 million for 2 seasons, or would you rather have that $60 million go towards 2 years of Max Fried, in addition to whatever else it would take to go get that frontline starter? Right? We keep talking about the players that they don't have the money for. Okay, well, how would they use the Bellinger money if they're going to use it? I don't know. To me, the offense still needs the left-handed bat. I don't know the answer to that. Like, obviously, the rotation would be great. 30 for here and 30 there. I'm just saying, 60. If you look at his contract as a $60 million balloon, that's a lot of dough you can put onto another contract, and you can just tell yourself in your head, all right, I didn't sign that guy for $100 million. I signed him for $40, because you just took Bellinger's money and you threw it over that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
it's all funny money.
Funny money. No, I mean, it's gonna.
Not my money.
Again, it's just gonna depend on how. What do they do if they trade Cody Bellinger? What do they do after with whatever resources they've saved that they don't have to give to Cody Bellinger anymore? That's the whole problem. Obviously, he hasn't been traded yet, so it's hard to even speculate on what they go after. And I don't know what they would do if they do trade him, but it just all comes down to, like, they have to go out and do more if they're going to trade Cody Bellinger. If they keep him, then obviously you're not as worried about it. But if they do trade him, then the question becomes, okay, what do you do now? Which way do you go? Who do you go get? How do you fill in and get the production back that you have lost with Bellinger?
Carter Hawkins is saying Santander. Would you rather have Santander than Cody Bellinger? Would that improve the team? I mean, the flexibility of what Bellinger brings is certainly more, and Santander brings you more power.
Yeah. They certainly need the power.
They do need the power.
Yeah. Certainly need the power.
They also need some backup plans.
To me, like, this conversation just makes me sick. You're talking about trading Cody Bellinger so they can afford to sign Max Fried. You realize how much of a joke that is?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I do. I sit here every day and say, give me a superstar on this team.
In my perfect world,
sick of vanilla.
In my perfect world, you keep Bellinger because you know the value that he brings, and then you sign one of those top line starters anyway. Bellinger's contract, $60 million, should not be holding them back from signing a guy like Max Fried, bro.
No, they could probably still afford it, even with, like, the Matthew Boyd signing. I'm pretty sure they still.
This is a joke, man.
Yeah,
anyway, I won't go down the rabbit hole for the 1000th time.
Right. And the money you're going to send to my GoFundMe shouldn't hold you back from getting your holiday presents for your family either. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, a message from our sponsors. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 people. Their shades, durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them a perfect choice for outdoor adventures. Hundreds of options to choose from. You're bound to find the perfect pair to go with your style, and they definitely have one in your favorite team's colors. I wear my Shady Rays golfing, fishing. I wore them driving straight into Chicago traffic today, into the sunshine, and they were fantastic. Plus, if your shades go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. No risk. When you shop, their team has your back all the time. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 people.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money in real sport. Get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. They have made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, and all you got to do is just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's the best place to get real money sports action, like I said. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. They invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. As in, say you have a four entry lineup. If you get 3 of the 4 right, if you do a flex play, you can still win. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When the picks hit, I get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. That's absolutely true. All right. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Download the app. Sign up. And play $5. You get $50 instantly. That's such an incredible deal. You don't even need to win to get the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. They offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like tonight, Taco Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. You make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long. Tonight, I like Cade Cunningham more than 28.5 points and rebounds, and Evan Mobley more than 10.5 rebounds. Lock it in, and thank me tomorrow when you're in this YouTube chat. Download the app today and use code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game, brother. Can I present to you a trade?
Yeah. I would love to hear this trade.
This is a diehard exclusive trade because I was in the Discord yesterday.
Discord, yeah.
This is from our good pal Gary Ross.
All right, Gary's got a trade idea.
Gary.
Also, shout out to my guy or our guy Danny Rocket who became a diehard yesterday. He was in the Discord.
No kidding, Danny Rocket.
He was in the Discord. He was in the
36
chat.
for 36.
He did. He said he couldn't pass it up.
Welcome,
but anyway,
Rocket
he was in the voice chat with us in the Discord last night.
Just a reminder, that's $36 for a year of being
a whole
a
year.
diehard.
Yeah.
Normally $80, man. It's only $36.
Great deal. So anyway, this trade that our pal Gary Ross presented to us, or presented to me, and before I say this, I would just like to say that it is intriguing, but I don't necessarily would pull the trigger on this. It depends on what happens after this trade, as we keep saying with a lot of potential things when it comes to the Cubs.
After Juan Soto signs somewhere.
Right. But this trade is Nico Horner and one of Javier Assad, Hayden Wisniewski, or Jordan Wicks, or 2 of those 3.
Who was the first, before Assad?
Nico
Horner.
Okay.
Nico Horner, one or 2 of those 3 pitchers I just mentioned.
Assad, Wicks, and Wisniewski.
Let's say a team would. I'm just going to say the team would probably say Assad and Wicks and
then Nico's.
And Nico.
And then who else?
Let's just go with those 3.
Okay, yep.
In this scenario.
Okay.
For Logan Gilbert from the Mariners.
So Nico, Assad, and Wicks for Logan Gilbert from the Mariners.
For Logan Gilbert, yeah.
Well, the problem is you have given up a lot of starting pitching depth, which you've just gone into the offseason.
Well, you signed Matthew Boyd.
Sure.
You know, I don't.
Replaces
my first reaction when
Hendricks.
Gary brought it up to us in the Discord, or brought it up to me at least, I don't remember who all was in there at the time, but my first reaction was, okay, you're upgrading at the start in your starting rotation. You get a bona fide top 2 guy, right? And so the only way that I could get on board for trading Nico is if you're really upgrading whether it's at second base or at another spot on the roster. And I'm willing to ride the ups and downs of Matt Shaw next year if you upgrade in a important spot. And as we said, they need starting pitching. Logan Gilbert's good. I believe he's got 2 more years of control.
Yeah, I think I'd do it.
Again, and I've been someone who's very much like defended Nico this offseason, been very like I wouldn't move him just to move him so you give Shaw an opportunity. But if you move him and you get a big piece like that back that bolsters something on your roster, I am personally willing to give Shaw that opportunity to like go through the developmental ups and downs next year because you upgrade the starting rotation.
The only cold water I'll throw on it, like I know it's just a hypothetical or whatever Gary wanted to call it, but 2 of the 3 players are injured.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
who.
Wicks ended the season hurt, and Horner just had surgery. I don't know a team that's going to be like, hey, let's give me a front liner for 2 of your injured guys, or I could swap in Wisniewski.
The thing about
I don't think it's
the thing about Nico.
I think they'd want a prospect.
The thing about Nico and like that
guys.
Injury and like him having surgery, that still keeps me thinking that there's still decent value. Is the fact that he played really well at the end of the year.
Hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know.
You just know you won't have him. You likely won't have him at the beginning of next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the surface, I think it looks like a trade that I would accept.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's a trade that the Mariners would accept, to be honest. Luke made the good point about if you're going Wicks and Nico. Yeah, I mean, Wicks was just hurt a lot of the you don't really know. Like, I think Wicks has a good future as a major league starter. He's probably not going to be an ace, but like he probably has a good future as a major league starting pitcher. But you don't know what you're getting out of him based on what this last year was for him and all the time that he missed. I think he pitched was it 11 times, 12 times this year, something like that.
Excuse me.
Obviously Nico with the flexor tendon surgery. Don't exactly know what you're going to get there. And this is speaking from the Mariners side, just because you don't know as far as health reasons, timeline wise. I mean, Assad, I think Assad continues to like impress and just like a guy that just keeps getting outs. The peripherals aren't. I still have some concerns over the peripherals, but like when a guy just keeps getting results, maybe that's just who he is. You know, a guy that can make the right pitch at the right time when he needs to. I mean, I don't know. I like I said, from a Cubs perspective, I think I would take that trade. I don't know that it's a trade the Mariners would.
So would the Mariners be more likely to take Nico, Assad, and one of those top 100 prospects?
Yeah.
I think they might, because Wicks is injured and because Wisniewski's kind of been up and down. I think they would think it was more value if you offered them
one of those top 100 guys.
One of those top 100 guys. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to trade Shaw, so that might. What if they wanted Owen, Casey, Nico, and Assad? That's a pretty big package.
I'm like reading some of the chat. Barb. I need you to open your ears, Godmother. Like, I'm presenting a trade that like was thrown out in our Discord as a hypothetical.
This is not Cody's hypothetical, Barb.
Yeah. And also, you keep saying trade Paredes. Paredes has absolutely no value right now. You want to trade? You're in the chat every day saying that Jed makes terrible trades, but now you're telling us that they should trade Paredes for what? just so you can be mad about what they get back in that trade? I just make it make sense to me, Barb. I know it's part of the bit. I know it's part of the bit.
Stupid trade. I hope Jed isn't watching. I can guarantee you Jed is not watching.
I explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, Barb.
I would also say in that scenario, whether it's any of those three, Assad, Wicks, and Wisniewski, it would be, in a sense, and I know those guys don't necessarily have to be starting pitchers, but in a sense you are trading, or the Mariners would be trading one of their best starting pitchers. Obviously, Nico would fit in at second base, would fit in their infield and be a good player for them, but they are also trading one of their best starting pitchers for two starting pitchers when they already kind of have a surplus of starting pitchers anyway. And it's kind of like,
well, those guys are more like depth.
Well, yeah, but are you trading Logan Gilbert for depth pieces when you have so many starting
Whenever
pitchers?
you lead baseball in K rate, and Nico Horner is one of the best bat-to-ball skills in baseball.
We should have sent him Madrigal.
And one of the best defensive players.
Traded Madrigal.
When we talk about the Mariners, I think the perception around the Mariners or in the league is that they have great pitching, but their offense sucks.
But that's not what I'm saying is you are getting Nico in the deal, but what you're getting back is more starting pitching than you already have. I know they're
what? Only throw in one pitcher and throw in another major league hitter.
If you gave
Triantos,
that's what I'm thinking. Like a top 100 bat or something like that. Like maybe the Mariners are more likely to do that than if you were giving up two of your major league starting pitchers.
I think
would be more depth.
I think it'd be fair. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
You do it all the time. Okay.
I know.
I'm interrupting both of you now.
Not all of us are perfect.
Interrupted you again.
If you throw in a top 100 guy, I think you can ask for a reliever back too. Is it fair to say that?
Wait, say it again.
Like, if you throw in a top 100 prospect and then with Nico and one of those three pitchers, that's three players for Logan Gilbert. If you throw in if one of those top 100 guys, whoever it is it fair to ask for a reliever back as well, or at least another arm? Like,
see, this is why predicting baseball trades is so.
I just know that Wild Thought Wednesday is supposed to be tomorrow. This is not. This is Taco Tuesday.
This is like predicting baseball trades. And for me, is such a hard exercise because we don't know what each front office wants.
Right.
We don't know what each front office is willing to give up.
I just think
we could say what we would do with it, but for me, it's just at the end of the day, it's like I have no idea what the Mariners want. I don't even know what Jed Hoyer and the Cubs front office really want in a trade. And what they are willing to give up in a trade.
You know what I want?
I mean, I'm not saying it's unfair to ask for a reliever if you're giving up a top 100 hitter.
We're all in a simulation. Nothing matters. We will all be dead at some point. All I'm saying is Nico Horner makes a lot of sense for the Mariners because their offense lacks bat-to-ball skills. They were among the bottom in baseball, I believe, if I remember correctly, in K rate. They struck out a lot last year. They need a guy like that. Plus, it pains me to be sitting here advocating in a way to trade Nico Horner because I like Nico Horner, and I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
But,
Thank you, Jay. We'll call it Tricky Trade Tuesday from now
there you
on.
go. So, I don't know, man. I just threw it out there because it was put out there in the Discord, and I was curious what people thought. That's all.
I like it. Hey, it was absurd. It was slightly bold. What about this idea that Rob Manfred is throwing around at the owners' meetings about a golden at-bat? Explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Okay, let me think. Do I understand this? He wants like a wild card that you get to throw down once a game where anywhere in the lineup you could have your best player bat. So if Juan Soto just hit a home run, you could throw down your wild card and be like, Juan Soto's up again. So technically a guy could hit a home run in back-to-back at-bats. That's what he's saying? He's saying once a game, each team has this like challenge flag or wild card or whatever you want to throw down. Let's call it the diehard card. Once a game, every team puts down their diehard card.
Oh, yeah.
And they get to have whoever they want bat, no matter where it is in the lineup. So you could be at the 7 spot in the lineup, but you could have Ohtani bat again if you want. And then he gets to bat again at the top of the order.
Hey,
I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If you had it 2 years ago when everyone was complaining about the 3 or 4 times Ian Happ struck out when Cody Bellinger was on deck and ended a game, you could have used it then, and you'd have been really happy. Because you were the biggest complainer about
right, because you could have put down
Cody Bellinger.
You could have put down the diehard card and said, "This is where Madrigal bats again."
But what I'm saying is, had they had this golden at bat, you could have just moved Cody Bellinger up a spot, and you would have been the happiest person on earth.
That's right, you could have, and then he would bat again if you needed him to.
So you like the golden at bat?
Oh, I love the golden at bat rule. This is dumb.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Why don't you just have a player wear a costume while you're at it?
It's a clown.
We have one guy has to dress as like a polar bear for a game.
It's another example of Rob Manfred not reading the room, or I guess just the owners.
He's clueless
because it's him and the owners talking about this, right? It's another example of them just not reading the room of what baseball fans want. Baseball fans want to be able to watch their team anywhere in the country. If I'm a Cubs fan who lives in Iowa right now, why would I get MLB TV? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the blackout situation is significant, is a bigger problem than trying to, I guess, in a way, lure in younger eyes. Because to me, this golden at bat thing is all about luring in the younger generations, people who cannot comprehend or pay attention, focus for more than 5 seconds without scrolling up on their phone, right? That, to me, that is what this idea is being brought up upon. They've made great rule changes. The pitch clock, as you love, has done great things.
Brilliant.
I threw it in our Slack channel the other day. I think it was from that baseball account, Codify. They tweeted the other day that 3-hour games in the last 2 years have gone, or like the amount of them, it's less than 20% of games.
Amen.
Less than 3 hours.
12%
right?
and 11% or something like that.
Yeah, it's very
another
low,
5 seconds
right?
off.
Yeah.
So, like the pitch clock has been great for baseball in terms of engagement and getting more people to watch and all of that. I feel like it's led to more action. You're not seeing strikeouts or home runs. And that's
Ghost hates it. What would you not like about the pitch clock?
I'm not here trying to argue. I'm just saying that to me, like, they've made some rule changes that are good for increasing the audience. Whether you agree with it or not, it has increased more viewership, right? But in the extra innings second base guy, it's always going to be a love-hate thing for me. But this rule is just like, it's this potential like golden bat thing is worse than the runner on second base in extra innings, in my opinion.
And it's dumber than the pizza boxes for bases.
Pizza boxes.
It is like the
that's
giant
increased
bases,
stolen bases, they say.
Allegedly, whatever. Now, Tony Gill was talking about this with us before the show, and he likes it.
The golden at bat?
And this is the reason he gave for it. In other sports, the best player has the ball in their hands all the time, right? Like a point guard, Michael Jordan can have the ball every time down the floor. In the NFL, the quarterback can have the ball on every snap. In baseball, you have to wait 8 guys to come around for your guy to at bat. So he's like, I want to see Ohtani bat more times. I want to see.
But I think
it changes the game so much.
That's why baseball's a different sport. Baseball's a team sport. It's not like you don't have that. That's why we always say you don't have the guy, even as good as Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani or Juan Soto are.
It's not other sports.
Like one guy can't necessarily just take over a game like a LeBron James can, or a Michael Jordan, or Patrick Mahomes, whoever the quarterback is, right? Like that's never been what baseball is. And like, so we were talking about it before the show, Luke, as far as like the pitch clock. Does it fundamentally change the game? No, because it just getting it back to its like guys were pitching that fast a long time ago before the last 20 years or so. It's not necessarily changing the fundamentals of the game. It's in a way getting it back to what pitching used to be, and it's. I know a lot of pitchers don't like it, but that's just like that. It doesn't change. I don't think the fundamentals of the game, and I'm not a Major League Baseball pitcher, so I don't want to put those guys down. But
totally
it's
change the game.
Well,
it'd be like in tennis, somebody saying, I want
to
Federer to serve for me here.
I want to also the ghost runner, as Cody mentioned. Like I know a lot of people hate the ghost runner.
It's the Manfred man.
And there's
pros to it, and there's definitely cons
but in a way, it also doesn't fundamentally change baseball because the ghost runner doesn't have to score. Baseball can still go 30 innings. Yeah. Baseball can still go 30 innings if it happens. It's a way to speed up the process in a way. And I mean, guys don't want to play 20 inning games. They don't want to play 18 inning games. They want to play 25. Like it does take a toll on the body depending on when that goes. Anyway,
I agree.
Anyway, the golden at bat, if you're able to move a guy would be due up 6th in the inning, but he's your best player, and you can move him into 3rd, I think that fundamentally changes the way baseball is played. It changes strategy. It changes. Like you write out a lineup card for a reason. If you are able to just change up the lineup, even if it's just one time a game, it feels like it just changes the fundamental rules of what baseball is to me. And so I don't like it. I don't like this golden at bat thing, even if it's only one time a game. Like I think it's just not baseball to me.
I appreciate that they're trying to think out of the box. I guarantee you this is not Theo's idea. This isn't one that Theo has gone to Major League Baseball and said, you know what? What about this golden at bat where you get to have the player come up whenever you want him? It's almost like trying to create a video game, which I get. The next generation only wants to play or watch video games.
Yeah.
But like Ryan said, it would totally change the game. It's like in golf. Okay, fine. You want Tiger to come in and make the putt for you on the 18th? Like, what? It's ridiculous. I watch Survivor still, one of the oldest shows on television.
Hey.
Law and I were old guys who watch Survivor.
47.
Why don't we just take away something from the other team now while we're at it? Nope. Ohtani can't bat here because I have a special thing that I want on an island somewhere else, and this is where I take away a batter, and now you have to bat Madrigal instead of Ohtani here. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just foolish.
Yeah, like I said, I just think they're focusing on things that they shouldn't be focusing on. I think they've taken gradual steps at trying to get more viewership, and it's in the right direction.
How would you do it?
I'll just make it easier to watch the freaking teams play.
Is there any other way to get the best players more action in a game? Like if it's Tony's idea, is what he's saying, like we want to see Soto as much as possible. I just don't know what that
score more runs.
Yeah,
like that's
runs.
it. And but again, that's baseball. It's like you got guys are essentially guaranteed 3 at bats a game. Your offense does well, you could get 4 or 5. That shouldn't change.
I said to Tony, if you're going to do this, why not? Then why not? Let's just use Ohtani as the example. If you're going to let this team have it once a game, have this ability because you want to see Ohtani one more time, why not just have the team be able to bat Ohtani every inning? If you're going to go absolutely absurd, then why not just say you can have whatever 3 batters you want to come up any inning?
Why even make a lineup card?
What? Yeah. Let's
Like,
just have
that's
AI
essentially
play it.
what
Let's
you're
just
doing.
have AI play the whole game out and decide who wins. That's where we're probably headed anyways. Robot players, robot umps.
Well, we need a robot umps.
Robot writers.
Robot writers.
Well, we already have AI.
That's what I mean.
Well, that's right. And we're there.
Why did Barb, I did not say I like this. In fact, I said I don't like the golden at bat.
It's like Barb
idea.
just takes everything we say and like
Again,
puts it in her own narrative. Like she shapes it into her own version.
Well, you did call Jed and say to trade for Jose Quaz. That did happen.
I did not do that. Don't say that. She's going to bring that back. Ugh.
That trade was a lose-lose kind of on both sides. So like, what is?
I admittedly
matter.
said I was wrong about Jose Quaz, but I never thought it was a like, oh, this is going to set the organization back 10 years type move, and that's how Barb treats it sometimes when she talks about it.
Okay, I won't bring.
I
it up again.
I don't have a rule that I think would quote unquote save the game. I think the pitch clock was a good step in trying to speed up the game. I think you don't need batters stepping out of the box, which they've sort of addressed. I don't know if you ever need the manager coming out to the mound to take out a pitcher. Just signal and get the guy off the mound and bring in the other guy. Now, is that going to save a ton of time? No, it's not. But, like, I don't know that this is going to speed up the game. letting the best player come up and hit whenever you want. And you got to substitute them back in, and now you get more runs, and now there's more activity, and that's gonna.
The Golden Bat's not about speeding the game up. It's just more about showing the star players.
Yeah, I get that, but
that's it. That's literally all it is.
I honestly don't.
Yeah,
care.
you know what? Just end the blackouts. Like we said, just end the blackouts. Everyone can get access to their favorite superstars, and there you go.
Yeah.
Old curmudgeons.
Figure out a way to do that.
That cover the game and vote on things that like Hall of Fame, whatever. They will say, well, it's not the, like Ryan's talking about the integrity of the game. There's people that are worried about the stats. I don't care about the stats. I know it's the one sport where you can really look back and say statistics are pretty cool to follow through generations of a game, right? Like, even though the game has changed, the home run record, despite the steroids, like, is still cool to look at. Like, people care about it.
Steroids were awesome.
Do you sit around and still think about who has the touchdown record in a game in the NFL? I just don't. So, but I just don't care. I don't care enough about the stats that if something impacted the game in a positive way, that I would be okay with it if it hurt the stats, right? For instance, if you cut it down to a 100-game season, it would totally screw over Major League stats, but I would be more than okay with it because the season's too long.
Yeah.
Make the season shorter. That you want to do something bold, do that.
Not money to
give away some of your
like
money.
that.
Give away some of your money. You want to make the game better? Chop off about 50 games.
50 games is a lot.
I always said like
50
20.
games is a lot.
I'd go with 140.
I mean,
I could chop off a month
Babe Ruth
easy.
still playing
now to
like
make our
140,
offseason
150?
unbearable.
I know, I was going to say the off-season shows.
How many games is Babe Ruth playing a season? Wasn't that like 140 or something like that?
Well, he had gout like
Well, like
40 or 50 of
okay,
those, so.
baseball teams at that point in time.
He was
like
sidelined with the gout and a case of the measles, but he got better.
Oh, no,
Health of the game is more important than the stats. I agree.
I just don't like. I just think this rule, compared to other rules, I think on its own, I think it changes the fundamentals of baseball. But compared to other rules, it really sticks out as the one that's like, this is the one to me. And other people are gonna disagree. That's fine. To me, that's like, this really is just not baseball. It changes what baseball is supposed to be.
I'd probably stop betting on baseball games because of this rule if it actually got implemented, because it really could change a game.
What if they asked, like, will there be a golden at bat in the like 8th inning? Think that would pique your interest?
Yeah, with those odds of like minus.
Part of the
300.
reason we don't. Part of the
like,
reason.
okay.
The biggest reason we don't like the golden at bat rule is the Cubs don't have a player that I'm sure we need to insert into the lineup.
That's not it.
There's not an obvious player. If I had Juan Soto, I might be a little more likely to be okay. Well, the golden bat rule. If we can,
I still wouldn't. No,
you're right. I wouldn't.
No. The integrity of the game
guy.
matters in those terms. Now, steroids were awesome, but
Mr.
in
Steroids,
this case, some of us have a line here.
You said that like within two words of each other.
I love steroids, but the integrity of the game matters. And if you can bang on a trash can, go ahead and do it.
Steroid users still had to figure out how to hit a curveball, all right? They still had to figure out how to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Right? You put it, this potential rule can literally change a game every single day. So,
how many new diehards did we get during the show? 17? Is that the right number?
I don't know, but
can't confirm it. Don't let the facts get in the way.
Facts, stats, Stucky
Good
stats, Delmetrics, whatever. Yes.
Final hours of 36 for 36. $36 for 1 year to be a diehard. It's the deal that keeps on giving the whole year round. Make you at that holiday party your company's having. You show up with that for somebody and you put that in a bag for the Secret Santa. Hello, you're the winner.
Oh yeah.
Instead of a bottle of wine, everybody shows up with a bottle of wine to the holiday party. I got enough wine on the shelves. Bring me a diehard card and a membership, and it only costs you $36 right now for like another 8 hours. Deal of the century. All right, we're back. Thanks to everybody in the live YouTube chat that joined in. Even Barb, we appreciate you too.
Stop trying to frame narratives around us, please. Love you.
Wild Thought Wednesday. I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow, Jay. We feel like it was hijacked a little bit with today's show. Anyways,
come up with another trade that's going to make people
come up with another trade. We'll talk about it.
Craig
at 11,
154 game season.
11:30, Babe Ruth, 154. Perfect
50.
number. Let's play
Cut
150
50
then. Cut it to
off.
150.
All
right.
It's better.
Fly the W. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
We all silly like the mayor.